Good afternoon, or what is a grey, overcast but changeable day. It is Thursday the 18th of August. I have a nice cup of tea. And a bunch of parcels to unbox. So the next one I'm going to do is this one. There we go. And inside, what have we got? We have the Sunken City Adventure Omnibus and Guide from Purple Sorcerer Games. Now, they provide support for Dungeon Crawl Classics, published by Goodman Games. And Dungeon Crawl Classics is a retro clone it takes as its inspiration the books listed in Appendix N of the Dungeon Master's Guide for Advanced Dungeons and Dragons of First Edition, and it is a singular settings system and system of its own. It does race as class, so you've got humans who have four different classes, and then you've got elves, halflings, dwarves as classes, 10 levels, and it's notable that it includes also a character funnel, the idea being you play several zero-level characters, go on an adventure, and if you survive, you rise to level 1 and gain a class. But Sunken City Adventure Omnibus is essentially an adventure and guide for a complete setting. Endless swamp, endless adventure. The great city is old and faded, a pale reflection of its former glory. Life is a challenge for most, but for the weak and unconnected, the city is a place of unrelenting hardship, harbouring neither hope nor promise of escape, with one exception, the Sunken City. Most find death in the crumbling ruins that stretch beyond into the mists. Once rich districts, now claimed by swamp and dark denizens. But for the desperate few, the ruins offer treasures the great city denies them, fortune, glory, and a fighting chance. The Sunken City Adventure Omnibus and Guide contains 4 complete starting adventures. Perils of the Sunken City, the Ooze Pits of Jonas Grauck, a Gathering of the Mart, Lair of the Mistmen, plus a new patron, bestiary adventure tips, and more. The other great thing that Purple Sorcerer Games does is if you are in need of zero-level characters, they've got a website, and you can just go click it and get a bunch of zero-level characters. So digging into this, we get to welcome to the Sunken City. This gives you the background and general introduction to the setting. So what a nice, actually, it's just essentially we've got an introduction and an overview, and it explains how the publisher got there and how its relationship with Dungeon Crawl Classics started. But it's only a page, and basically it says enough reflection before it delves into why the Sunken City. So this is really setting everything up and getting everybody, your gaming group, ready, as well as the judge, to run the campaign. And we've also got an overview of the adventures. So you've got a mini campaign here. Perils of the Sunken City is it's a 0 to level 1 DCC adventure. There we go. And this, you've got essentially a nice little colourful map. And I really actually like this book. It is full of colour. It is a nice looking book. Essentially you've got an explanation of who the figures are of Mustard Town, the gates of the Sunken City, and the Mustard Town lexicon, so you can really sort of get your characters into play as inhabitants of the town, looking for a way out via the Sunken City. Essentially and you've got notes on handling it somewhere else, such as Nodgrog, my world is a deliciously grim and British place. You can place it in the campaign style of that you're choosing, and then we've got sort of like basically, I'm presuming that's sort of like the one of the sites of importance where somebody's in charge. But here we get into the starting the Sunken City with Madsken's court, and the arena, and hopefully your player characters is going to get thrown into it, and that should be an entertaining meat grinder because there's 0 level. But beneath it, we have a little bit of a maze, essentially a small dungeon for them to explore. And then by the time they've done that, they should be ready for the ooze pits of Jonas Grelk. And you've actually got a base here with Slither's End. So the artwork is kind of, I don't know, it's a little bit, it seems a bit bright and cheerful for the kind of setting, as you can see. Perhaps overly so. Perhaps there's something wrong there. Perhaps they're hiding secrets or they're being manipulated. But certainly it gives that sort of like, there's an odd feel to the place with them being overly gleefully happy. But and then we go out and begin exploring the swamp. We've got a river keep as well at the end. Before we appear to encounter a bear in a fez, because hey, fezzes are cool, and bears in fezzes are even cooler. So this is quite a lengthy adventure. Ultimately, you're getting into the ooze pits and discover their secrets, whatever they are. Yeah, and even we have. There's something I picked up about the smile. I'm quite right, there's something odd going on because you've got a guide here in Appendix N, Slither's End on 5 smiles a day. Again, that isn't creepy, is it? We've got tables of rumours, clues, and so on, and various NPCs listed as well. So you've got a complete base, odd town to explore before we get on to Gathering of the Marked, in which doom follows those who bear the mark. Gathering of the Marked, a level 01 to DC adventure. So you've got 3 of these adventures. So I'm wondering, you know, it's sort of like you've got a collection of these 0 to level 1 adventures. Wondering, do you ever get to level 2? And are there any notes of which to upgrade them? Because if you play through 1, your characters are going to survive in order to get to level 1, and you might want, say, a level 1, run a couple of level 1 adventures, and then you want to be level 2, and so on. But again, we've got another village here, Heaven's Fall. Again, we've got a certain degree of creepiness, again in the artwork, and a little bit unsettling. So there's something definitely odd going on. Perhaps up at the manor. And we have a decent sort of like 3-dimensional map of the manor. Eventually you'll get inside and discover his lordship. There's something odd going on there. And of course, it being a stately one, it also has its own grove. And then we've got an appendix of rumours, which you can fling at your player characters, the adventure can fling at your player characters. And then Lair of the Mistmen. This is actually a full level 1 adventure. So, you know, there's introduction, you've got an overview of motivation and explanation of adventure as before. And here we've got, again, Lordness Base with the Fury of the Greyfolk. This is almost like a travelling adventure. So you get the Fury of the Greyfolk and get caught up in the lair of the Mistmen. And they're obviously distinct, sort of like, you know, built out of stone in the swamp. And then we've got potentially Path to the Cave, the Path to Madness, which is something which can befit the people living in the area. And we've got a complete guide to adventuring in the Sunken City. So you patron Malak the Dark Creeper, probably going to be quite good for your cleric. and what happens, essentially when you invoke him and potential patron tate. And it's got great fun is that sort of like with Dungeon Crawl Classic, it does encourage this sort of like direct involvement with your cleric characters, with the gods. And it's got various spells in here: snarling roots, forest sensing, quaking roots, and so on. And we've got creatures of the swamps. You can have opossum men characters, so on, and various monsters, including obviously a frog prince there, and adventure scenes as well. So yeah, quite a decent little package here for DCC. It ends there with notes for running at a demo or convention. So you can run this as sort of, I think, you can run this as a demonstration game or a convention. I don't know how that's kind of going to work as necessarily as a campaign. You may want to put a bit of work at the end developing it, so it's essentially the last scenario you run is perhaps for second level characters, and then what do the characters do? I think hopefully that's going to be sort of like explained in there, but quite a bright, colourful kind of adventure omnibus for Dungeon Crawl Classics, worth tracking down, and I will have a review for it in due course. Anyway, thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, I appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings, where you will see me out here with Postle, from which I will extract a book or game and chat about it to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit that subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching. We'll be back again soon with another unboxing in the Nook. Bye for now.